Alright, episode 3 here at Thoughts at the Spot with your boy Ceelo and
Ceelos. We're back at it again with episode 3. This time I couldn't do the intro because Javi was giving me shit for last time. So sorry about that.
yeah, he failed to mention. I mean, you got people know that Thoughts at the Spot. So when you don't know how to do it the first time, you're done. You're cut off. So what's up, Ceelos? What you got? What's up? What we talking about?
Man, today, the thought that I had today, I think we could talk about, I think is back to school. Everybody going back to school, kids going back to school. I don't know if you remember your days going back to school in the 90s.
Dang!
Just kidding.
You know my age out there, dude?
Damn, bro.
90s.
But do you remember what it was or what?
Well, yeah, I mean, kind of depends. I used to like elementary was good because I was the bully, and then middle school I got
You were
bullied.
bully kids, bro?
And then middle school I got bullied, so kind of karma got back to me.
Bro. I don't see you as a bully. I think you would get bullied though.
Well,
I see that.
you see my enemies now? Yeah,
I see
back
that.
then, dude. I used to run those streets of Midville, Old-Town Midville,
Okay,
But no, yeah. So and then high school was kind of different, but
you got bullied in high school.
I know I went to school with my sister, so
So they
she
protect
introduced
you?
me to her friend. Yeah. I had the seniors, at my side. But yeah, what about you? Like,
legit, bro.
what were you? I know, like, weren't you like
I was dumb.
Weren't you-
Was that a gangster?
weren't you friend zone though, like back in
Friend zone?
Yeah, wait, by your wife?
I don't know. Never, dude. I friend zoned her.
Yeah,
Just make sure to edit that out. No, but I remember, elementary, I feel like it wasn't too important, right? Like, because I know, for me at least, is that it's, the first week of school, you gotta get a fresh outfit,
Yeah.
But elementary, I don't think it really mattered. But I think middle school and high school, for me, at least, I know we have a time difference.
Yeah.
But I think I remember like that first week of school, I was like, I gotta wear the coolest outfit. So you lay out your best outfit. And for me, it's not just the first day, bro, because first day anybody could pull off the first day, right? But you need a week, at least a week of outfits where you're like, boom,
Like this is it.
yeah, this is me for the whole year. And I would wear. I remember I got these fresh ass blue Tims. I haven't seen any blue Tims lately, but they were so fresh, bro. I was just so excited to start school. I couldn't sleep, so I would just stay up the whole night getting ready to be so fresh for school. And then in high school it's just different. You had your swag boys, at least where I went to, Jordan High. You had a lot of those people in my age were late, but you had people wearing snapbacks and those leather jackets with a hoodie and taking those funky pics and stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the days. Nowadays it's different for kids. Nowadays, now that you're not in school, you feel old because you don't know what's in anymore.
You said swag boy?
Swag boy.
Because I went to Jordan, so I guess after I graduated, like that school just went down.
Like 20 years, bro? Well, come on, bro. Things change. I can say I was part of the swag boys because I wasn't fully into the whole taking pics and necklace. But I was wearing snapbacks, and the snapback, you wear a snapback and you had a snapback on your leg.
So
tied to your
did
thing.
you get jumped in or into that, or was it
as long as you had a snapback, and that was the time snapbacks came back in. So I think at my time, I think we brought snapbacks back. Snapbacks back. Snapbacks back.
Was it just like a plain? Was it your team snapback? Just anything or what?
Just anything, dude. Anything snapback, bro. Anything snapback. If you had a snapback on, you were automatically cool. And that's why I don't think I ever got bullied. I never had problems in school, really. I never had any bullies or.
Never had your brothers stand up to you?
No, because my brother, we're about 4 years apart. Yeah. So we didn't go to school together.
No.
But I think he was a loser. But
you think he was a loser? He's like...
No, but when I went to school, it wasn't like anything.
Yeah.
I wasn't ever bullied. Just one time I was bullied.
By what, Nancy?
Nah. She still owes me $3 to say. Yeah, I let her borrow $3, but that's another story, bro. But
anyways.
but one time I do remember, I had my outfit, bro. You know my outfit. I had a red tee, and I had these Nikes, and back then it was cool to like, you know, when in the, I don't know what they're called, but you have that tied. It's like your shoelaces, and then you have the Velcro kind of thing. The strap.
That's where you had the strap, yeah.
But it was in to not put it fully in, you know, like wrap it like this. It was like you have to like, I wish I could show you, but I don't have a thing to show you. But you would put your Velcro thing instead of putting it so it ties.
Yeah.
You put it so it sticks out, so it would stick out a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was cool back then. And I was mad. These shoes had they were white and orange and red. And this kid, he was white.
Yeah.
He would come and bully me because he had the same shoes. So he was upset that I had the same shoes as him. So I mean, it wasn't like a bully like my whole middle school days, you know, but it was just like 1 or 2 days that he was being bullied, you know. And I still remember the day because that's the only time he bullied me with his friends because I was just, I was in 7th grade and he was in 9th. So,
yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't like I'm gonna give you a wedgie and push you in the locker or anything like that. It was just like little dumb things that they would say,
Yeah.
But that's the only time. And then in high school, we got along with everybody. In middle school, other than that, was pretty good.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I mean, for me it was, well, a different experience because, like, I mean, I can say my growing up poor, you know, so I'm not saying you were
bro,
rich,
like, it's just
I know, it's a soft story right here.
Yeah, okay, bro.
Yeah, I didn't have that privilege as Carlos over here, Ceelo, sorry, but,
He's like, I didn't have sneakers.
I had sneakers. Then we go home, then we go to work, damn. Then we work the field. No, they had to go to school, you know, dang. I think I would wear the same outfit from like.
Okay, bro. He's like, I would wear the same outfit.
Same outfit every day. They say I used to stink. No. But no, I think like I really didn't think about it that much back then. I mean, I guess, you know, with I feel also the time differences change, you know, like, you know, you see kids now that they think, you know, that I feel like they're more grown up than when I was back in school, you know.
Well,
like,
kids still look older than me. They're
yeah.
current. I mean, they look older, right? I mean, I even now when I see it, I'm like, I don't remember when I was in 7th grade. I don't remember looking like that.
Yeah.
I mean, take again that I can't grow facial hair, but now these kids have facial hair more than me, you know. So it's just crazy to see.
Yeah, for me, I think like it wasn't so much. I mean, I know, like, I think for middle school it was the fat forms.
Fat farm was for me was elementary.
That was it, yeah. So that was like kind of like middle school fat farm.
And you had that pee looking the other way.
Yeah,
you know?
I couldn't afford the actual pee. So
you had
the fat farm, you know. But
I remember because I would put my shoes in the checkered.
But that's
the shoelace and the checkered form. Bro.
That's why I got bullied though, because they
had the big fat form.
The big fat forms. And
at that point, why even get them, bro?
Well,
you know you're gonna get bullied.
I know, but I mean, I think I also didn't have the actual real Adidas. I had four strides, but it's just like
it's like Adidas.
But it's what, you know, at that time it's like I wanted to fit in, and I thought just by getting something close to it I could, you know.
It's like I'm gonna get this fake fat form.
Be cool, you know. But I mean all that. But no, so anyways, but like it wasn't the same. I'm thinking about dressing like that, you know. It wasn't until high school where I'm like, oh, I need to kind of dress like this, you know. So for me, it started later, like in high school.
And I mean, I joke around a lot about it, but we're not too far in age.
Yeah.
Right, and I think because for me it started in middle school. Like in middle school, I was like, oh, I have my fresh outfits. I need to look good. I can't be caught wearing the same shirt in the same week. Type of mentality that I had, you know, because I thought like, you know, I want to look good, and that's just kind of the way.
But did that work out though? Did you pull girls or what?
Bro, you're lucky that my girl could probably be listening to this podcast because I'll be telling you stories.
It's like, look here. It's like, where do I start?
Like, where do I start, bro?
No, I think funny is just like, yeah, like I started thinking more. I mean, I think back in high school, that's when I was like, oh, I need to get express. I need to like work out. I need to, you know, stuff that I didn't think about back then in the other grades. But yeah, for me, back to school was just back to school.
But I think back to school is like a big thing, dude. Because I was looking in to these things, and they were saying that the like total, like we're on track this year to hit 37 billion in sales in back to school.
Oh damn.
So I think a lot of people just spend a lot of money in back to school. And either it's outfits, it's backpacks, you know, pencils, all that stuff that you need. And it's an average of like $864 a family that has school, that have kids going to school. Damn. That's crazy, man.
$864 like the
per family that they spend the average. 864.
37.
So think about it. I mean, it doesn't specifically say like
what
how many children.
Yeah.
But you could kind of break it down like maybe
two
to
300.
Yeah, maybe 2 children. I mean, think about it. I mean, clothes is expensive nowadays. So I mean, you're spending at least $20 to $40 on a T-shirt.
But,
20 to 40. I mean, depending where you go, right? But the average family may go and spend $20, $40 on a T-shirt and pants, and you gotta get like 10 of those outfits, and then books, pencils, backpacks, all that type of stuff.
Which by the way, Ceelo's over here. He didn't want to spend no money for real Yeezys. So he went with some knockoff.
They're real Yeezys. They look like the camera can't catch them. They're real Yeezys.
From far away he starts running. They're real Yeezys.
It's like they're real Yeezys. Check them out. Don't get too close.
No, see, he's like, what's that? What's the logo? But no, it's just.
But it's crazy to think because in school, like I cared about how I looked, right? But I would buy, not to knock on it or anything, but I would wear Walmart shoes. Because Walmart shoes, they had, at the time Vans were in.
Yeah.
So Vans, they had plain white shoes that looked like Vans. And I don't know, because the friends that I made or stuff like that, but I don't think they ever noticed that they were fake, you know?
Yeah, they weren't like actual Vans.
Yeah, they weren't actual Vans. So, and I would buy, they were like $10, $15 at Walmart at the time. So I would buy like 2 or 3 pair of those because I would ruin them all the time. And I didn't want to buy Vans because they were like 40, 50, $60 depending on what Vans. So I was just go to Walmart and get them. I don't think no one ever noticed.
Yeah.
Maybe some people did, maybe they didn't, but and they still look good, you know. I think, and nowadays I think shoes are very important. I think the shoes is the most important thing in an outfit. Because I think it makes a statement. It's something that people could notice. I feel like you already knocked my fake Yeezys out. But I think if people notice, or I think I notice, like Nikes, Adidas, Puma, all that type of stuff. And I think you could buy like clothing, like jeans, shirts, that are not branded. Because you can't tell. Like you're wearing this polo right now, I can't tell what market. I mean, it looks good, and I could say, oh, maybe he bought it at Express, maybe he bought it at Nordstrom, maybe he just got it at TJ Maxx. But I wouldn't be able to tell because I don't know the brand. But I know that it looks good. I don't know the brand. Same thing with your jeans. But your shoes, I could be like, okay, maybe the shoes you did went cheap on them, or maybe you do look like you spent a lot on them. But because the shoes is you could tell.
Yeah, no, that's cool. For me, I mean, it's like that's your thing, right? For me, I think I would. I don't even know what I noticed. But no, yes, I think it's example. I mean, actually. I'm wrong because I know for when we see those Nikes, you can right away like, man, those Nikes look good, or which ones are they, like, are they Jordan 1s, 2, 3s and all that, But
I mean, I think that what people, I mean,
yeah,
I don't speak for everybody, but I speak for myself. The one thing that I noticed is shoes, and I think shoes are popular. I mean, it's hard to get shoes nowadays too. Trying to cop some new shoes that I wanted and I can't because I always get they get sold out. So I think shoes plays a big part.
Yeah.
I mean, and take it again, you wear fake shoes that have fake Yeezys, but I'm just saying, like, I think people do take a look at maybe the shoes, and I wouldn't worry too much spending too much on the actual clothing, just because you can't really tell, right? I mean, I can't really tell, and I think as long as you pull it off, and it looks great, you know?
Well, that's the thing, I mean, I feel like with everything like branding, it's just like, dude, it doesn't matter. I mean, those, like, they look like Yeezys, but I mean, Yeezys, again, has like someone who has certain taste for it. I mean, I like them, but not everyone else.
Yeah, and probably someone that hasn't really used it is probably gonna listen to this and be like, oh, what a.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
just cheap bastard.
but
I mean, it's cool. I mean, dude, they were $10 at Shein,
Yeah. Just like shout out.
Shout out.
You wanna
She's not
sponsor
just
this?
kidding. It's like just kidding.
If you want to sponsor this podcast, just let us know.
No, but I mean, it's just $10 a Shein. I saw him and I was like, yeah, might as well, you know. I'm already getting a couple stuff because I needed to get some my outfit for Bad Bunny, but that's another topic. But I think
it's another thing too. We probably need to bring that up like maybe later, if not like
later
before we go.
Before we go, we live in Vegas.
Yeah, we might record
Live in Vegas.
Live in Vegas, you know, before Bad Bunny.
Get Bad Bunny on the show.
You know, it's like, hey, it's like,
he's like, who are you guys?
It's like, don't kiss my wife, you know. But no, I think that's what we should do. But you know, because this is for us, it's just that we go where it's at. You know, we go at whatever the spot that we want it to be. So it's what makes it good for us. You know. But yeah, man, like, dude, just like thinking about. I mean, it's funny too when you're talking about shoes because I always confuse the Converse with the Vans.
Yeah, just to throw it out there though, Converse, the most comfortable shoe.
Converse.
The most uncomfortable shoe.
Oh, uncomfortable, yeah.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It might be because I have a fat foot, but it's the most uncomfortable shoe. I don't know how people like Converse. I bought them one time, never again, dude. They're the most uncomfortable shoe.
Yeah.
You know, I wouldn't buy. My wife loves Converse, but I just can't stand Converse.
They look good. I mean, I like that.
I mean, do you think they look good?
I do, but it's just they are uncomfortable. Like after a while, you're just like, I'm good to take them off. You know.
Yeah, they're just not. Yeah, I mean, they're not just for me. So I just
no, that's I think with going back to back to school, it's a different. I mean, even now it's like everything changes and now it's like, oh, what can we, you know? And now instead of like just getting the latest or greatest, it's like what's gonna save the environment and all that, you know.
Well, that's true too. I mean, and you look at with kids. When I was in high school, like now I think kids have something extra to worry about because when I was in school, we didn't have. I mean, the iPhone 4 came out, and that was the latest and greatest.
When you were in high school?
In high school, the iPhone 4 came out. Or it was a 4S, I think, but it came out, and when you had it, oh, this guy has money. But nowadays, kids, and that was just with me having a phone. I mean, maybe the kids that I went to high school with, maybe they didn't even have a phone or a flip phone because that was still at the time what was being used.
Yeah.
But now kids have to like, oh, I have to rock a brand new iPhone. I gotta get the new iPhone 13. I can't be looking at an iPhone 8, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think they have that extra. Like now I have to look good, but I also have to have a device that can take them selfies and the Snapchats and all that stuff, you know?
And to me, throwback.
For you, probably it's like, hey,
it's a sidekick.
It's like, did you get the brick phone then?
You know the sidekick?
Oh, the sidekick.
Yeah, that was my time in middle school.
That was
it's
cool.
Like you had the sidekick, you know, flip like.
Yeah, the sidekick was cool. If you had the sidekick, I know you were automatically.
Yeah. Or
the BlackBerry. I think BlackBerry was in.
Oh yeah, BlackBerry at that time was too. But
yeah, BlackBerry at the time.
The sidekick was man, and it was like, kind of like, oh, you had to have that sidekick, you know, like just the flip, and people were like, oh, fucking.
It's like no one called you or texted you ever, but you had that.
It's like, hey, it's so happy. It's like, let me flip it, you know, but breaking the hinge for no reason, just because I'm pretending like that someone's messaging.
It's like, please text me, man. Like,
I know my phone's all dry.
It's like, bro, we don't have phones.
They're like,
who's texting?
No, I'll call you after 9, dude. I
got the minutes hitting, bro.
Oh, dude, this is crazy.
That's what I mean, dude. Yeah. We had different times of worrying back then. And for me, I think Snapchat was really coming in. Instagram was good. Facebook was coming in. MySpace was falling off.
Yeah.
But it's just great. And I don't remember if you know Tumblr. Tumblr was a big thing when I was in high school. Tumblr, like, it's a website where you put like blogs and stuff. But it was just
kind of like Twitter?
Not really. I mean, more like pictures though. More pictures.
Does that still exist now?
I think it still exists, but people don't use it. It's just like for blogs and stuff. But it was very popular back then. So.
Yeah, that one I never used. I went from MySpace to Facebook.
To Twitter?
To Twitter. No, Twitter I just barely got just recently. But
I actually could never get to Twitter, dude. I don't know why I couldn't get to Twitter, but I thought it was cool. Yeah. But I just never. I mean, I hardly post anything on my social media, but Twitter I couldn't get around to post anything.
Posting anything and you won't. But I mean, it's the same thing like with Instagram. You just post pictures, you know, whatever.
But I think pictures are more interesting.
But you can also post pictures on Twitter now, you know, or maybe you could always.
Yeah, I think you always could, but who wants to see pictures on Twitter when you got Instagram? You know?
But the thing about Twitter though, it goes to everyone. You put those little hashtags and it goes to. hashtag this, hashtag that,
Well, I think hashtag work on Instagram, right? We put a hashtag at the
But it all started with Twitter, dude. I mean, right now, like, if you...
Bro, it all started with MySpace and High Five and Moco Space. I mean, they all paved the way to what everything.
I mean, I think...
And now it's a metaverse, bro. What are you gonna do? You know?
Well, that's, I was gonna talk about something about that leads me. I mean, I think if like the MySpace kind of did a lot, right? So it brought like people to social, like music, listen to music, right?
Those profiles.
Those profiles.
Those were coming up.
Like
it like freaking took me days to set up my profile, bro.
Yeah.
It like had the perfect music, the perfect song that comes up when you click on my profile, the perfect song.
Yeah.
And then like you had your background, and then you had your top 5, top 15.
Yeah.
You knew if you weren't in that top 5, it's causing trouble.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, why I'm not in your top 5 or top 15? Or I was, but not no more. What's going on?
It's like, yeah, dude, you just look, you were what was it, Swag Boys? So it's like,
hey, I didn't like your snapback.
This was a Pikachu or something back then. It wasn't really famous like it is now or something, but I mean, it was, I guess, back in Pikachu, Pokemon. But
I think Pokemon's always been around. I think now you see it more because, or when Pokemon Go came out, man. Now that the Pokemon cards are worth a lot, so I just think it's like in now.
So yeah, so that's so what's up? That's you got for the back to school.
Yeah, dude, just back this crazy thing. Like I said, dude, back to school. I didn't realize a lot of people spend a lot of time on that, but yeah, back to school.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be its own holiday, you know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, for us too. Like I think for my daughter, we're gonna spend. I mean, we got our backpack.
Well, yeah. Like you have your daughter, right? How much did you spend? How much did you get her new clothes, outfits? I mean, depending if she goes to like, I don't know if she goes to private school or not.
No, yeah, no, she doesn't go to private or charter school, so she goes to public. But I mean, for us right now, I mean, it's summer still, so it's
Oh, she's not in school yet, so that's.
No, she is in school, but it's just like she's wearing her summer clothes, so it's not like
okay.
that we had to buy her because it still fits. But it's gonna come to like when it comes to fall, get her, start spending that money for fall, like pants.
Bro, you gotta like buy like. In summer you buy for fall, and in fall you buy for summer, bro.
Dude,
cheap, come on, bro. Save some money.
Yeah, drop the money when it's
Damn,
good, bro.
Bro. You got the money like that, huh, bro?
I just like wait till like it's like. So what? Save like a couple dollars, dude. I'm ready.
Bro, you save a lot, bro. You see the.
But no, that's kind of what we're waiting for. But yeah, we'll spend money. We'll go to either to the outlets or Target, just kind of wherever she likes. She's at that age where she can decide.
But not Walmart.
Or Walmart.
What's wrong with Walmart, bro?
Yeah, Walmart.
You said Target, dude.
Well, yeah.
Target is like divides the people, bro.
Well, dude.
As soon as you say Target, I know you don't set foot at a Walmart, bro.
Well, dude.
I know.
And I set foot in Walmart. I mean, that's the only thing we have where I live, but. It's kind of depends. Target's not all that great, like how people say,
Dang,
you go to American Fork,
bro.
that looks trash. The American Fork,
Dang,
you might as well
upset a lot of people.
Yeah, American Fork, you might as well. Target, you might as well go to Walmart.
Dang.
Same thing for the South Jordan one. I'm sure you've been there, dude. It's
The
just
South Jordan Target?
Yeah.
It's nice, bro. It has a Disney section.
Yeah, but it's
Looks
just
great.
like it doesn't look organized, dude.
Well, I think that's anywhere, though.
No, dude.
Which Target looks great?
What one's the Sandy one?
That's a lie, dude. That one's huge, and that one they always have everything all over the place.
It looks cleaner than.
Well, because it's bigger, probably.
But yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. But I mean, for a fact, the one in American Fork is trash. It's just like,
that.
why would I want to go there? So it's just like I'll just go to Walmart instead and I don't know, spend whatever money you got to do there. But that's just yeah. So we're just waiting for that to happen. I mean, Walmart, Target, outlets. Like
TJ Maxx.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I like TJ Maxx.
I used to shop at TJ
I
Maxx.
still shop at TJ Maxx. That's where you got that polo, huh? Don't lie, bro.
I got this at Target, bro.
Oh, to Target?
Yes, sir.
Dang,
These pants, Target, bro.
Dang,
These
bro.
shoes.
All of
them. These shoes. No, I got them over there at.
Hand-me-downs.
I didn't want to say it, but I got them in Madrid, Spain. So.
Oh, dang.
International, bro.
International. Okay, bro. Throwing that out there? Dang. Hey, I go to Spain.
I go to Spain to get my shoes. Every 5 years or so. No, but it's just, yeah, but it's just, yeah, dude, back to school. It is what it is. I'm glad it's, she's back at school. My daughter's back at school. Got to get to close in a little bit, and yeah, dude.
It's crazy though. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like the back to school stuff. We haven't been in school in a while, right? But it's just crazy to see all that stuff, and just kids are just developing, and it's crazy how they're growing. You know.
Yeah. Now, what about you? What are you thinking about for your son? And what your kids are gonna?
But right now, I mean, they're still young, so they don't have to worry about back to school. I did take them back to school shopping.
For no reason.
But they're not going to school. Just because they had some good deals.
He's
But
talking about money over here. He's the one just dropping money. He's like, hey, I'm gonna go back to school. And
it's like I dropped. Dude, you just made fun of my fake Yeezys, bro.
But shit, I was afraid I was gonna say it. But no, I you know, like with the school though, what are you thinking? Public, charter, private? Just
I think public, bro. I think I was always in public, and my wife's always been in public.
Yeah.
I mean, unless other circumstances happen, you know, because kids nowadays are different, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a bullying and all that other stuff that you hear in the news, right?
Yeah.
But depending on the outcome, but we're thinking public, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's how I put my daughter. I think when she was 5, I put her in jiu-jitsu, you know, because I was like,
Jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, because I told her, like, okay, if you have someone going, like, being mean to you.
Punch in the throat.
No.
Oh.
You say, like, hey, stop.
No questions asked. Punch in the
That's the
throat.
first strike 1. You tell them to stop. Strike 2, you tell the teacher, hey, this boy, this girl is, like, picking on me. After strike 2, if the teacher doesn't do anything about it and the kid pushes you, kicks you, then that's when you go.
Punch him in the throat. Nice, bro.
You know? I defend yourself, like, and then, you know, they say, hey, like, she got in a fight, and I'm like, cool, like, did you do something about it?
Yeah, do something about it?
Because it's just, you know, that's just like, man, you gotta tell them, like, stand up for themselves, you know? And also, she does it too. She stands up for other kids.
That's good,
You know,
bro.
she's like, hey, this kid tripped this person, and I pushed that kid, and I'm like, well, that's good, you know? You might be like, don't do that, like, it's like, hey.
Yeah, they need that, man, because I think, like I said, kids are different nowadays. I feel like they're more prone to bullying, you know?
Yeah. What's everything? I mean, it's like they start off young with like social media and just everything.
Yeah, because the whole social media aspect is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and then just getting bullied is just like, man, like that wasn't. I mean, for me, it's like it wasn't that crazy with bullying, you know. Like going back, it was like in middle school, yeah, like I got bullied, or I think they even had a bully. I wanted to kick my butt, but I'm that type of person. I'm like a lover, not a fighter type of person.
So I'm just like, I can see it, bro.
So I can see it. Like, dude, like.
But then I don't blame your bully though. I think you have a face that.
Well, the thing, let's
punch you in the face.
Let's talk about this. That's messed up, bro. Well, let's talk about this though. Did you actually? Did you ever get in a fight when you were in school?
I don't think you ever punched someone in the face.
Do it not. Do it right now. I actually.
But I don't know. So
yeah.
That's just me, you know. And I think. I'm not trying to be like sound cocky or anything, but I always was cool with everybody in school. Like I didn't have problems with anybody. I was cool with the people that that would cause fights or cause problems.
Yeah.
So they saw me as part of them, and I was also cool with the people that got bullied or that would get beat up. I was friends with them too. But it's also like I avoided fights either. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna beat you up and I'll run away. No, I just never ever had somebody that said, hey, I want to fight you or let's fight, or they're talking shit to you straight up and you want to fight. No, it's never been like that. And even to this day, bro, like I haven't had any problems with anybody. I know I could probably be aggressive with some people, but I always like to see the good in people, you know, so I don't ever become aggressive.
Yeah, I think I actually got in a fight. I think it was in middle school. This kid, I mean, he's a good kid. He's fat. I'd say.
Oh, dang, bro.
But
he was fat, huh? You know, because he was fat.
Well, yeah, I was like, yeah. No, I don't like fat boys. No, only fat boys I like are the ice cream, you know. But no, it wasn't like that. It was like where I was in my locker, and then this girl comes up, and he's like saying something, and I noticed that he had a thing for her, cause I was a bully, dude. I'm telling you. And I'm like, oh, you like her? And he's like, no, he's like, yeah, so what, whatever. He's like, after school, 3 p.m., blah, 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 and something like that. I'm like, sure, whatever. Again, I'm a lover, not a fighter type of stuff, so I'm just like, I told my buddies, I'm like, hey, can you just come with me, because this guy's
I'm scared. I'm scared.
This guy's big.
I'm scared.
And I'm like, I know for a fact that this guy is going to just throw himself on top of me, and I'll,
Yeah, bro, he's going to just throw.
So 3 o'clock, 3:30, whatever rolls up, and we're out there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kick your ass because like I really like her, and you make me look like a fool and all day." So I'm like, "Whatever." So he starts like punching me, dude. But like the thing is, he's like, "Okay, I'm sorry." His face they weren't hurting. Dude. They had like cushion. And so he started hitting me, and I just as I started laughing. So then he grabs me by like like in a headlock. And I'm laughing because I'm like, dude, you grab me in a headlock, but you're not really doing much. So then I grab with my right, with my right fist, I grab it and start punching him in the face, and I just keep punching him, and what's up? Go over there. And then so anyways, I'm punching him. And I start laughing, and he's like, "What the heck's going on?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's like my right hand is free. Like, you just punched me for no reason." So then he's like, "No," it's like whatever. So then he grabs me and he grabs my head and he just like headbutts, and I'm like laughing because I know I have a big old dome and like my head's
a big head, bro.
And it's hard, like it's hard as rocks. So I'm like, dude, this is not gonna hurt me. Anyway, so fast forward, he's just like, "What the heck?" I'm not laughing at this point because it's just like I'm not taking it serious. I'm like, over a girl, dude, come on. Anyway, so he finally just like throws himself on top of me. And he's just like, boom, and I'm just like, and I told my buddies get him off, because I couldn't breathe. Like legit, I couldn't breathe.
You're claustrophobic, huh?
Yeah. No, I'm not claustrophobic. I'm just like, it's just that, yeah, like I just knew that was gonna happen, and I couldn't get him off, and so my buddy was able to get him off.
So did you say you got beat up, or?
I would say I won, Yeah, he just threw himself, but I won at the end of the day. So. But that's kind of that's my middle school fight, and ever since then, it's just like, dude, I'm gonna fight. It's all about peace and love.
Peace and love, man. Peace and love.
But
but yeah, I mean, like I said, going back to the whole game fights and stuff, like I said, I didn't have that because I have that mentality. It's like there's no point to fight, man.
Yeah.
Because I just think it's like awkward, bro. Like, okay, we fought, and then I see you in the hall,
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, I still have to be here in the same school with you for like 3 years, dude. Like, what's up?
I don't know.
Or like, you beat me up, I beat you up, but I won. Like, let's set up fight number 2. Like that type of stuff, So I just think, I always thought it was pointless, bro. I really didn't think any of it. And at one point, dude, people that got in fights became friends. So it's just like, bro, like, come on.
It's like, why even fight?
Why even fight, And then when you fight for a girl, bro, it's like, I was always taught growing up, like,
No girls worth fighting for?
no girl is worth fighting for.
Damn, really?
Because it's like, that girl could easily replace you.
Yeah.
Like that, dude.
Yeah.
Easier than you could probably replace, that you could replace her, dude.
Yeah.
Or they replace us. They replace us a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I just think like, if someone, obviously if they're being disrespected, then that's a different thing. Right?
Yeah.
That's a whole different topic. But when they're like, for example, like, you caught her cheating on you, and then the guy fights the guy, it's like, why are you fighting the guy, bro? I mean, it was a both party thing.
Yeah.
And obviously you're not gonna fight the girl either, but you just don't fight either. It's like, when you
so
fight,
why do it exist,
So you don't fight either though.
It's like, oh, Ceelo.
Because, cool, you beat him up or he beat you up, the girl's still not with you, bro, or you're gonna leave the girl,
Yeah.
Because you're not gonna deal with that, or what? You're gonna beat up the guy and then, I'm gonna take my girl even though the girl was cheating on you, bro. It's like, there's no point in that, dude.
I totally agree with that. That's why I had that like thoughts, like why it's like it should be between, like, why am I gonna punch this dude? I'm like, at the end it was, it took 50-50, right? To make the choice of like the cheating or whatever, right? So it's just like, I'll deal with my ex-girlfriend now, or ex or when if it's wife, like ex-wife, because it's just like, dude, like, it's done, like it's just kind of like, why am I gonna fight this guy? But if I end up hurting him really bad and then I get jail time for what, It's like, just end it, dude. It's just like, boom, we're done,
It's like, cool, just like,
it's not worth the time.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, and it's just like you said, like, and then what happens, like say you're at the phase where you're dating or something, and it's just like that happens. You beat this person up, and then she leaves you and she stays with the other guy. So then for what? Like, it's just like,
or they don't stay together, or she goes with another guy, or she does it again. So it's just like, that's why you don't. I don't think you should fight for a woman like that, you know?
Yeah.
Like, cause you're not, what are you getting out of it, dude?
Yeah.
Either way, the one that looks like a fool is them.
Yeah.
Right? Because not to sound cheesy, but as a dude or as a girl, like, the person you were dating, they lost out on you.
Yeah.
You know? And no matter what, and like, and then it comes to jealousy as well. Like, for me, I'm not a jealous person, and I think jealousy is a great topic to have and have conversations about. But it's just like, why go through that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
You're shooting yourself in the own foot by doing that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
No, yeah, that's true. I mean, I can say, I don't know. It's hard for me to say if I'm jealous or not.
You're a jealous type, bro?
Because I don't think I am, like, but you know, I might say that, and maybe I.
But then
you know.
your significant other feels
It's like, oh no, like he's jealous. But I mean,
jealous.
for me, that's the thing though. Okay, look, and this leads me to my topic that I had. I feel like I'm not jealous, but I bring the jealousy out of people, right? Because the way I am, like I'm
You're
not gonna
friendly?
say, you know, I make people laugh, I make girls laugh, you know, I make.
I
people
was just like,
It's
I walk in and girls notice me.
And I was like, oh look at this guy, he's gonna make me laugh, you know, and you know, it's like, oh, so awesome. But you know, and so me, it's just like the way I am is just comes out as flirtatious sometimes, you know, and so you know.
You're significant other.
I'm gonna be like, hey, like, oh, like you're flirting. I'm like, no, it's like, hey, I just got us some free drinks or something. You're welcome, you know. But you know,
but that's different. And here's why it gets so hard because, and this is why relationships are hard, marriage is hard, and all that stuff. Because think about it, like you may not think that's bad, but what if your significant other think that's bad?
Yeah.
Like, because everybody has a different point of view, right? Like, let's just say, hey, I was just being friendly, so I complimented her shirt, or I complimented her hair. They may see it as, your spouse at least, may see it as like, oh, you're trying to get a reaction out of this girl, right? But you're just like, nah, and genuinely, you're not trying to. It's just yourself, right? Like, it's just you. You're just trying. You're a cool dude. You're friendly, and they just. You genuinely like the shirt, like, you know, and they may see it as that, and that's why relationships are so hard because that's where the conflict comes, you know.
Well, I think too, like, you know, as a guy, you know, like being a gentleman or you know, chivalry, just, you know, this demonstrating that it's like that's how you know you are. It doesn't mean you have a thing for that girl, you know. And sometimes some girls might take it like, oh, like this guy's into me. I'm like, no, like if, you know, I'm doing things because I want to, like, that's the type of person, you know. I'm growing up with 3 sisters, you know. And so the way I'm treating you the way I am is because that's how I the person I am, you know. But as soon as like you do something like, oh, like, hey, I'm gonna go to the fridge and get some water, you know, like you want one, it's like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, he's into me. It's like, no, dude, I'm just grabbing a fridge from the water. Like,
why are you grabbing her water, bro? You're trying to get in her pants, bro.
Damn, dude. You know what I'm saying? No, it's just like, you know, it's like for me, it's just like, dude, I'm there. Let me go be a gentleman and just like, what's up, you know?
But don't you think being a gentleman you could say it's like going away? Like, it's not as, women don't find that as what they're looking for. I feel like it's changed women's perspective, right?
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with a lot of things what happen in the world, right? But like you could say, like you said it yourself, like, hey, I'm trying to be a gentleman, let me get the door for you, and like, oh no, like I have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this guy's being a creep. You know, that type of stuff. Do you think it?
It's like, yeah, I'm married, you know. And I think it's I think it's just like I mean, we can't say like, you know, every person, but if there's, you know, most or some, you know, it's just like, hey, like I got this, like, you know, like I don't need that. I don't need you to be a gentleman. Or, you know, I can do this myself. I can open the door. I can do this.
Well, yeah, because
it's good, right?
Because nowadays,
independent.
Yeah,
you know?
it's more like the woman's more independent. So I don't need a man to do that stuff for me. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but I think being a gentleman is like,
but
slowly being extinct per se.
But I mean, it's just so much into it, right? Like it's just like, right? It's like as gross as they say, I don't need no man's. You know, you can say yourself, I don't need a woman to be doing stuff for me. You know, like.
But I think it's different for us, bro, because we know, like, us men, let's be honest, we're kind of dumb. right?
Well,
And we need women in our life that were, and I don't say like in general every man needs a woman. I'm just saying in general we have that like you could say like that significant other, either male or female, that has that tendency of that caring nature.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have someone that needs to. We like to be taken care of, bro. I don't know. I don't think you ever run into a man that says, "Oh, I don't want to be taken care of," in the sense of, I would like for someone to cook for me, or someone to tell me how I'm doing, or if I'm feeling sick, to make me my favorite food, or for my birthday, give me my favorite, whatever, you know. And when I go back to that, I think that's what I say, like when a significant other, in that sense of like that caring thing, either it's male or female, we look for that with us males, or even females, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like nowadays females are like, I don't need that.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need a man because I don't need a man to open the door for me, or I don't need a man to hang this thing for me, or I can do this on my own.
Yeah.
We wouldn't say that. We wouldn't say, hey, don't cook for me.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, but I mean, it goes back. I mean, it goes to like, you know, I can say, you know, things around the house, right? I can be like, well, I'm coming from work. I want the house to be clean. You know, food to be on the table. But to me, like I can say, like I like to clean the house. I like to do these things, you know, and it's stuff that like, it's like I don't. It might seem like this is like a woman's or a spouse or whatever, but no, it's just like I think the times have changed, and it's just like everyone can do anything. You don't need, you know, a wife to be doing that for you, and then the wife doesn't need a husband. You know, they can kind of be independent. But it's just like also making sure, like for me personally, if I had a son, I would be like, hey, be a gentleman, you know, like open the door, you know, do this, or if you feel like, hey, like you said, compliment on a girl's, you know, like if you just by being, you know, say, hey, you have a nice shirt or whatever it is, you know.
But that's just, what we're saying though, like for me, for my son, I want to educate him on that, you know.
Yeah.
Like, hey, be a gentleman, treat people. Never hit a woman. Always be respectful. That type of stuff. But what happens when it turns around and says like, hey, Dad, I tried to be nice to this woman, but she pepper sprayed me, or this woman, blah, 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 or this guy took it the wrong way, you know? Like, so how do you go from there? Because like we're saying, our world is changing, and they don't see and say, oh, this guy's being such a gentleman. I think the first thing that comes up would be like, oh, this guy's being a creep.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way of like raising kids, and no way of, it's just kind of whatever you feel is right, you know. Teach your kids what you have, like, you want to teach them, you know. And then hopefully, you know, I mean, for me, for my daughter, it's just like letting her know, hey, like if a boy, you know, a guy's doing this, like opening the door, that's great, you know, like that's something that, you know, you look forward to. Like, don't let that don't you know, just be like, oh, I don't need some guy to do that. It's like, no, like take it and, you know, say thank you, whatever, you know, because like eventually it's gonna come down, maybe down the road where that's not gonna be a thing, you know, and so it's gonna be like, what is it called, like not that many, like a few compared to like how it is now, like how we are, you know, like
how that saying that says woman like a bad boy sort of thing.
Yeah, and so I'm just like, I had to be
I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad boy.
I say swag boy, and I was a bad boy, you know.
It works. But it works. Just, But yeah, I mean, you set that expectation, and just like, hey, you wanna like be nice, be respectful of others, their opinion, their views, their beliefs, all that type of stuff, right? Because, and it's so hard to say, because it's like you're not always gonna be right, and people are not as understanding sometimes, and they could be like, my beliefs are right. Yeah. You're wrong. Well, that's the thing, that I feel like that's why there's so controversy in the world, because we don't take the time to listen. Yeah. Right.
Well, this is, I mean, now there's a whole full circle, you know, circle. It's like for us, this is what our podcast is about, right? We of us, you know, we have topics or things that we want to talk about. we're not always gonna say we agree on things, you know.
Yeah, but I'm always
But
right.
it's, but, you're always right. But it's just like letting it out and having that conversation, you know.
Yeah.
And that way the listeners can take whatever view they wanted. They can take your view, my view, whatever it is, so they can have their own, you know, views, but or own opinions. But that's what it is, you know. It's not that we're here to. I'm not here to change your mind. You know, you're not here to. Oh, well, if you're thinking
I'm not
that.
changing. I'm just kidding.
But you know what I'm
can't,
saying?
because I'm not gonna change your mind. No matter what I say,
Yeah.
you grew up the way you grew up.
Yeah.
Right? You have your own point of view. When you leave here, you're gonna continue to live your life, no matter what I say, right? So I mean, you may take little snippets of what I said and what I.
Well, I might cuss you out on the way.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
your
like,
car and say, "This guy doesn't care about this." Anyways,
But yeah, I mean, you at the end of the day, you're gonna have your own way of viewing things, right? And I just think, this is why we both agree to do this podcast.
Yeah.
It's just we want to take and listen to our point of view.
Yeah.
We want to listen, like, okay, why do you feel that way,
Yeah.
or why do I feel that way, and come to like not necessarily to an agreement or disagreement, but like view of that and be like, okay, maybe why I see why you think that way, or hey, I understand why you said that.
Correct.
You know,
that's I totally agree. That's what I feel it's all about, and we're gonna continue doing this because I see, you know, I want to be able to, for us to share and continue talking about topics or things that are going on, you know, just either this week or just anything that we have. Like, you know, I really want to bring this up because I feel this is a good conversation, you know. And this conversation, you know, Chivalry, you know,
in other words, being a simp is what you
being a simp. that's what you mean. So now it's like
you being a simp.
2022 is you know, now you call it simp.
Now you being a simp,
you know, but it's just like you know,
dude, and that's funny. It's crazy though, because I feel like the way I was with at the time my wife when we were dating, you could have called me a simp, right? And it's funny that you see that because even you see on social media, TikTok, all that stuff that girls call out
simps.
Like call out simps. It's like, dang, bro, that's
and for people that don't know, like older people, that, I mean, what if you're 33?
It's like, okay, boomer.
If you're 34, boomers, anything like that. Simps means just simpletons, you know, someone that just is it just like into one girl, that's it, or like
they do it they're all into her and they're all over her.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
they do that. They do stuff like for them and like text her every morning like, hey beautiful, like hey beautiful, and like I miss you. I hope you have a good day today.
And it's not like back then where I was like, hey, good morning. You know, that's why back then it's like you just say good morning, babe, because you don't want to remember that. Just, you know, you want to say good morning, you know, so and so, good morning, so and so, mix up their names. You know,
it's like you're a player, because you're a player.
You just say good morning, babe, and that's it. Like
it's like when you're a player, you have that safe text that says good morning, babe, and you just hit that button that has preset, and you just press that button and it generates a message and you send it to those.
Make sure it's not in a group chat.
Not a group chat.
I don't think that was a thing back then, or now it's just like you get caught easily, but.
And now you would get caught easily, but you can't.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just, you know, this is good. I mean, for me, I can say it. You know, I don't know. I agree with certain things, but also with with what you said. But
dude, I was dropping straight fire, bro. Can't believe you were just saying you could disagree on anything I'm saying. but no, I think I get it and I understand those things because like taking back to that, I mean, being a simp per se, a simp, I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
I don't think it's showing that you. I mean, to an extent, right? Like you don't want to overload your significant other, you know, over stuff. But I mean, if you show them that you care and you want to be with this person, I don't see what's the problem, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it was a good. I feel today was good. It was a good.
It's pretty good, but I think this is one of the longest talks we had, and I think is because.
Make sure you listen to it. You know, I mean,
it's too long.
I wish I would have said it in the beginning, but it's like, you know, it is good, and it's.
And if you listen to us this long, you're awesome.
Yeah.
We're like we're going like 50 minutes.
Yeah, we won't forget about you. We'll give
it's
you a shout out. You know,
you're going this far. I'm gonna put a secret message to know if you listen this far.
So send us a message and we'll give you a shout out next podcast. But no, I mean, I don't know if you have anything else that you kind of wanna say. You want to do any
special shout outs to my sponsor, to my
any shout outs, or oh my god, what's that thing that I'm trying to say? anyways, whatever. You got anything you wanna?
No, I think this week was a good topic, man. Like, back to school, and here's still another great school year for all them kids out there. Class of 2023, right? 2022, 2023.
It's 2023. Yeah.
It's considered 2023. Yeah, class of 2023. You know, shout out to them.
And yeah, and for me, I just want to say thank you again for listening to our podcast.
Thank you. Thank you to that one listener.
To that one listener, we mean it. So I think it's even us.
It's just us, so it's just me listening to it.
So, but we appreciate it, taking your time, and just want to say, this is your boy Ceelo and
Ceelo's.
Anyways, but yeah, like thank you again. Episode 3. We're gonna actually give you guys a what do you call it? What did you say? Surprise? Not surprise. Back to back. What is it?
Back to back episodes being released. You guys are being treated so that you listeners that are out there, you're gonna get back to back episodes.
Yes. So don't. I know you were waiting for the last one, but episode 2 will be released tomorrow. Well, Saturday. It's already Saturday. Anyways, later today, because it's 12. It's like
we're mountain time.
Yeah, mountain time. For all you listeners in the East Coast.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so and then this episode 3 will be released on Sunday.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, going back that. Appreciate you guys that are listening. I know we may only have a few listeners, but thank you for listening in your car. And where you're working out, when you're in the toilet, anywhere. So we appreciate it. Thank you. We hopefully come out with more content. Amazing content for you guys, and just thanks again.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Peace.
Signing out.